Hi, we're today with Marilu and Arthur, and we're going to be talking about what is it to work with Roger. So, how was your experience working with Roger?
Well, home buying or selling is so stressful, and he really helped relieve a lot of the stress. His nature, his attention to detail, his attention to our needs.
How many times have you worked with him?
I
At
would
least twice, I would say.
twice.
Twice. And it
Yes.
was buying, selling, or
Both.
both buying and selling?
Yes, yes.
So, how was your experience buying?
Actually, it was great because what Roger he didn't like try and take us to the most expensive houses. He really cared what our needs were,
Okay.
and he focused on that. And once he knew what our needs were, he let that guide him, and he would take us to many things that would have been exactly what we wanted, except for maybe one or two things that maybe location or whatever. But it was really it made a stressful situation very
I
very
think,
nice, if you could say that.
I think, to me at least, the main thing that stood out right away is that he was not trying to sell us
Okay.
Yeah.
on anything.
What
He
was he
just
trying to do?
he listened to us, like what our objectives were, what we wanted, what we didn't want, even more importantly, and he would just basically pick properties, take us there, and kind of like express his opinions. I remember when we were in the process of looking for a property. There were several occasions where, I don't know if Murdo was with me at that very moment, but we would go to take a look at a property and I would get all excited and he would listen to what I was saying and then he would say, yeah, but it's also this, that, and these were all negatives, as if he was
Oh.
actually trying to discourage me from picking because he's so,
So, he was
okay,
trying to help you to see
Yes.
yeah,
everything
I
just,
about the
remember, I
property.
yeah,
remember we went to this
you know,
one place and he goes, "No, it's on an alley. It's this, you don't want that."
you
And
know,
he
I
saved
wasn't.
us from a lot
So,
of
so
things.
you wouldn't see, he would like see your blind spots, kind of.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it
Exactly.
was like I would get excited about certain things, but he would realize that I'm not seeing what he's seeing. So instead of being silent, oh, okay, they're gonna buy this, I'm done.
And like
He
the
would-
future may
he
bring
would
a
stop us.
the future may bring a problem with this
You
purchase.
know,
So like you would say that that's the professionalism that an agent should bring, and that
well,
Roger
Oh
brought
it's
that.
more
yeah.
than professionals. It's honesty and integrity.
Okay, I like that.
That to me is more important than anything else. Where I know that this person is on my side. Truly, it's
Yeah.
not just
Yeah.
Not just a
what's that
salesman.
what's yeah, well, there's that
No.
legal term where he has a fiduciary duty
Okay.
towards you, and that's what the paper says. He really has my interest at heart,
Oh, that's very
rather
nice.
than just simply selling the property so that he could get his commission.
All right, so let's talk about it. So like you bought a property, but you also sold a property with him. Was
Yes.
it the same property you bought
Yes,
together?
Yes.
So he sold that property for you. How
Yes.
did that experience
Ooh. Well, it ended up going great.
go? Okay, but it
But
started
the whole, yes, because when we started, it was a rental property, and
a rental
it was left a disaster. A
by the
disaster.
tenants.
yeah,
Yes, and we were so sad because this was our retirement,
Okay.
and it was a disaster. I could start to cry right now. And he set in motion um, fixing it up in the most he added a level of taking all the stress away from this, and he made it so nice. We came back to that house after it was cleaned and fixed, and he orchestrated all of it, and it made it very easy to sell.
Yeah, he's very proud to. He mentions this to me every so often that you are like these kinds that handle the checkbook and say you did whatever
yeah.
you need to
I was
do.
gonna say, what really stood out to me is that when we walked in there for a walkthrough and the tenants were leaving, and we both realized this is an unmitigated disaster. Instead of like, I could see that he was upset, but in a very personal way, not
Yes.
that it just kind of interfere with his business. He was really
He was
pissed.
personal.
He was very personal, and at the same time, while I was still pissed and angry about it, Roger's demeanor kind of like changed in a sense, like in a very calm in a very kind of a quiet way, he kind of like took charge. Says, "This is what we need to do."
Yeah.
This was even before, we didn't even know at that point whether we're going to continue as a rental property or
Or
whether
sell it.
sell it or whatever. We were like really freaked out about the whole thing. He kind of said, the first thing that we're going to do is before we decide what to do with it, we need to fix it. Okay? Let me take care of it. Let me organize it. And he did it in a very calm but decisive way. Like I
So it
felt
wasn't pressure. It was just
right.
in a kind of
Instead
this is
of
the next
right,
step.
instead of saying, "Oh, well, you guys, you're gonna need to hire a contractor and you're gonna need to do this," it was all, "I'll take care of it."
And you had trust in him to do the
Oh
right thing.
yes.
Oh,
Oh yes.
completely,
So
completely.
like
Absolutely.
he really delivered in that aspect for
Yeah,
you.
I mean,
Yes.
by then, we had an ongoing relationship with him, and we knew him as a man, as a person, and
We
like
totally
like you just
trusted
mentioned, I
him.
basically when it came to this, and I just basically said to Roger, "Here's my checkbook."
Yeah, that's what he told me. He
Yeah,
told me.
just
And it was the best decision we ever
yeah.
made.
Yeah, I mean,
and
like I
and
heard that
not
like
only
you
not
sold
only
that house
yeah
for a pretty good.
yeah I mean the end
Yeah.
result was
Yeah.
we sold it for Roger put it on the market for, I forget what it was, but it sold for like 25% over
I
Yeah, I
the
think
think
asking
I think
price.
more.
no, it was about 2020, but you the numbers. So you put it about like for $999,000. I think it sold for 1.2 million, something like that.
Something like
So
Around
that.
it was
Yeah.
about
there.
Right.
$200,000 in like a
Right.
profit, right?
Right.
And
Right.
that I assume made you pretty
But
happy.
but the cool thing about the process itself was that even though I just basically said to him, here's the checkbook, do your thing, do whatever you think is necessary. The whole process was you had this ongoing feeling like he was watching everything like a hawk. It was not
And
like,
he
oh, I don't
was.
care. I got his money, so I'll just
No, and
whatever.
he would give us reports.
He'd give
He'd
us
send us
Communicated
reports.
it.
messages. Yes, he'd send us messages. This has been done. This has
Yeah.
been done. They're going to start tomorrow doing this. They're going to start doing this. We're going to
But
have the
not
people
only
come
yeah,
and plant the flowers
yeah.
and
But not
everything
only
else.
that, he almost like really became our contractor.
Yeah.
He would
The
Yeah.
negotiate.
general manager.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
he
was.
he
Yes, he
would he
was.
would give these people hell when they were behind schedule.
Yes.
He would go there, for quality control. And, it's not like, oh, okay, I got all this money, so I'll just hire this guy, that guy, and
So he
let them.
wasn't trying to take
Oh,
advantage. He
he
just tried to
was
make
No.
it the most efficient
he
way
No.
was
possible.
he was
Yes.
on top of that thing like a hawk, like every step of the way, and it was just such a comforting feeling because there's stuff I can potentially spot, but I know there's stuff that I would miss. And many times when we went for inspection while the works were going on, he would spot stuff that I missed and say, "That needs to be corrected. That's
Yes.
wrong. This
Yes.
needs to be redone."
So let me
He
ask this
took
question.
care of it
Yeah,
all.
Let me
yeah.
ask this question. Would you do sell or buy a home on your own, or you would hire a real estate if you had to?
Oh, I would hire a real
But
estate
on
agent.
our
If
own,
Yeah, buy or sell on your own without a real estate agent. Would you do that, or you always would go with a real
do I
estate
look insane to you?
agent?
Never.
never what?
Never by myself.
So you
No.
always would. It really helps to have somebody who knows
Yes,
to guide you.
yes. We
So it's
don't
not
know.
something you would recommend to do on your own. Not something you would recommend to do on your own.
No.
No, unless you yourself are a real estate agent
Okay.
Yeah,
and you know
yeah,
what you're
no.
doing.
No.
I
No.
think I think
We don't know the
it's
ins and
too
outs.
much stress and too much. There's too much involved, and so unless you really know
What you're doing.
what you're doing, I would highly unrecommend it because I think you may end up like what is that saying? Penny wise and dollar foolish.
Okay.
You know,
Pennywise,
You might
pound
lose
foolish.
more
what?
than you can gain.
Pennywise, pound foolish.
Penny wise pound foolish saying.
Okay. Let me end up this with one question because we're getting people over there. So
Mhm.
my last question would be: if you were to describe Roger in one word, what would that word be? If we would describe Roger in one word, you can do two,
In,
but let's try.
yeah.
What word would describe Roger?
I will go back to what I already said before:
I think I know.
honesty and integrity.
Okay, so those are the two.
Two of the most important words that I can think of,
About
especially when
Roger.
this is, as it's always said, for people like us, this is the biggest purchase of our life. Whether you buy
We're
your
not
own,
rich.
we're not rich,
This
so
is our retirement.
this is our retirement, this is our hard-earned savings. So how many times, unless you're a speculator or you do this as a business,
Yeah.
for us, it's kind of like set it and forget it. Like you do it and you want to do it so that you don't have many regrets or a lot of regrets. And I think for me, unless you're an expert in that to begin with, you'd be insane not to hire someone to watch over the transaction and the process. The process itself has so many pitfalls
Yeah.
that there are a lot of potentially adversarial situations between you and the seller or the other way around.
Yeah, negotiations
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
to have someone on your side that watches out for your interest and even more importantly, not just watches out for your interest, but does it in a very
It's
um,
as if it was his house.
as if this was his house, and
Yeah.
also,
Very caring.
Yeah.
but skillful way.
Yeah.
He's not a bully. He's not antagonistic.
Oh, yes, tact.
You
He's
know,
very tactful in
he
the way he approaches
tactful,
everything.
diplomatic,
Okay.
and at the same time, when the rubber hits the road, he knows when to say no. That's it.
So if he has to get hard, he's
Right.
gonna get hard.
But that's the thing. You can get hard, and you can get hard in a soft way.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of like what's that saying? You carry with a stick. You.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah, that's saying
Something
you
carry
talk,
a big
yeah,
stick.
You talk soft. You talk soft, but
Carry a big stick.
Yeah. That's Roger. It's like it's like he will talk to the opposing party, so to speak, and he will smile and say certain things, but this is it. Okay, you just
It's the real deal.
yeah, this is the real deal. The buck stops here.
Okay.
I love you. You're beautiful, but get out of here.
All right, but thank you so much for this.
Actually,
You wanna add something else?
yes, I was going to say for me, I have 4 words.
Oh, forward.
Well, it's relief would be the first
the
word,
first one.
but it'd be complete relief and trust.
So relief in which way?
Relief knowing someone is taking care of all your needs as if they were his own.
Okay. All right.
It's
You
very
don't-
hard to
yeah.
find somebody
You
like
don't
that.
you don't have a feeling like you hired somebody to perform a task for you. You feel first of all you almost forget that you hired somebody.
Yeah.
You feel like you have a friend coming over to help you with something. It's almost like
Someone you can count on.
as if I called you knowing that say that you're a handyman and say, Camilo, can you come over and help me fix the door? You don't think about it, that you're paying for this. You don't. It's just a friend that shows up to help. Excuse me, to help you with a task.
Okay, this is going a little bit too loud. Thank you so much
Thank
for this
you.
beautiful work.
And he makes you laugh.
And he's pretty funny, right?
Yes.
Roger is pretty funny. Ciao.